Buddha once said, "We are what we think about most," and that's because thoughts become things. It is so important that you and your child develop positive thinking. The power and the importance of positive thinking is instrumental to success in anyone, not just yourself or your child, and anyone to succeed in life. I'm your host, Dr. Jamie Schwandt, and our show is going to provide you some tools, inspiration, and motivation to success. We're going to provide you a show that will truly help you to dream big, think positive, and take action. We're going to bring you interviews from people across this great state of Kansas. We're going to bring you leaders from this community. We're going to bring you teachers, coaches. We're going to bring you military leaders and some great people to inspire and motivate you. So please stay tuned. We have a great show for you today.
Every individual has value and the right to be treated with dignity. Developmental Services of Northwest Kansas support persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities and are dedicated to the worth of each person. To help DSNBK give the best of a vast array of services, we invite you to log on to our Plan Giving website. It features valuable ideas on ways to plan for the future and receive benefits. Lives are transformed by your support of people with disabilities for generations to come. Developmental Services of Northwest Kansas.
Hi, I'm Seth Castle, owner of Castle Books Publishing here in Hays, Kansas. I've purchased advertising time here on Eagle Community Television to help support veteran-owned small businesses in our community. So if you're a veteran-owned small business and would be interested in using this advertising time, please go to my website, www.castlebooks.com, and click on the Veterans Outreach tab. Thank you for your time and thank you for your service.
He cries in the corner where nobody sees. He's the kid with the story no one would believe. He prays every night, "Dear God, won't you please, could you send someone here who will love me?"
Help a child know they're special. Adopt. Call or go online to learn how.
Who will love me for me?
Simon's tax, accounting, and financial planners have been trusted by their clients for decades. At Simon's, they take a holistic approach with a comprehensive portfolio of services for their clients. Make your appointment today and enjoy a better tomorrow for you and your family. Simon's Tax, Accounting, and Financial Planners, 1007 Cody Avenue in Hays.
Welcome everyone to Dreaming Big with Dr. Schwandt. I'm your host, Dr. Jamie Schwandt, and I have an awesome guest for you today. I have the president of Fort Hays State University, Mirta Martin, Dr. Mirta Martin. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been wonderful getting to know you and visiting with you.
Yes, it definitely has. We've been talking about books and reading, and
Yes.
anytime I can sit and chat with someone about that, it just makes my day.
Likewise.
But so Fort Hays State University. Every time I talk about Fort Hays State, Hays, Kansas, the community, the area, just phenomenal. I travel the country for the military. Nothing compares to this. I've been across different countries around the country. Nothing compares to Hays, Kansas.
100%.
The values that you learn here, the characteristics. There's the empathy, compassion, hard work, and family. It's just so important here in Fort Hays State University. So,
It is. It's the essence of who we are. When I was interviewing as a candidate, I often tell this story. My children had grown up and spread their wings, and they had their lives, and we were looking after our grandparents, my grandmother and my husband's parents, and they passed, and so we looked to see what would be the next 20 years of our life, and we really were not looking at a place. I wasn't looking for a title. Mm-hmm. I was really looking for a home and for a family. And I can sincerely tell you that after being at Fort Hays State University for 16 months, what I learned the very first day, what I felt the very first day, what I knew in my heart the very first day I set foot at Fort Hays State University has been affirmed day in and day out. it's the essence of who we are. It's a spirit of family. It's a spirit of that pioneer work ethic, that you do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. The things that you do when no one is looking, that's what defines Fort Hays State. That's what defines Hays America. That's what defines who we are here in Kansas. And I can tell you that I have found my home, so I'm very thankful for it.
No, it's very, very well spoken. When you think of Hays, and we were talking about this a little bit beforehand, if you can just get here, you won't want to leave.
That's right.
So, and I think that's what you just said. Been here 16 months, you're embracing it, you love it. Why would you want to leave this place?
Exactly, and it's a pureness of people. It's the essence of our people is they do things with the heart. Not with the mind, with the heart. They do things because it's the right thing to do, not because somebody is telling them that they have to do it. They do things because their heart tells them to, not because a job description tells them to do. That's very unique. It's a story that we're trying to tell throughout. At Fort Hays State University, we do lots of things very well. There's one thing we don't do well, and that is we don't tell a story. And so this year, I keep telling the faculty, the staff, our alumni, so thank you, our students, be less humble. It's counter to the pioneer work ethic. Because if you boast about who you are, it's boasting, it's arrogance. But when it comes to Fort Hays State, there's so much that makes us distinctive. It's that love of people, that nurturing, that compassion, that sense of unity that we need to spread to the world, because as a parent, that's what I would want for my child. That's a place that I would want my child to go to school. But if I don't know about Fort Hays State University, I cannot guide my child to choose Fort Hays. And so, we are trying to spread the word of all that is good and great and wonderful about Fort Hays State University, because we know, we don't just believe, we know that if we can get that family, if we can get that student on our campus, if we can get our faculty and our staff to touch that student will stay with us.
Can you tell me a little bit about who Mirta is? And maybe something our viewers don't know about you. Not necessarily as Fort Hays State president, but maybe who you are, or something along those lines.
I think I'm a mother, not just to my blood. These kids at Fort Hays State University have become my kids. And so who I am, it's somebody who wants to nurture, who wants to inspire, who sets guidelines and frameworks as parents do. But it's also there to be able to lift up when lifting is necessary. I speak about the students at Fort Hays as my kids because they're the age of my children. And for me, the only thing that has been difficult about moving to Hays America is the distance between me and my children. But that has been very much mitigated by the fact that I've got 5,000 kids at Fort Hays.
Yeah.
And I know them, and they know me. And they know that they can pick up the phone, and I'll be there, and I'll answer. And people sometimes say, you give the students your personal cell, they don't use it unless they have to, and that's important. So who I am, I'm somebody who is very personal. It's somebody who doesn't necessarily need titles or believe in titles, because a title doesn't define the person. What's in your heart, your actions, define the person. I've been blessed throughout my life with incredible role models who've instilled in me a sense of value system that I carry throughout, who've given me a hand up, not a hand out, but a hand up to open that door so that I could go through it. And now it's my time to pass it forward. So the definition of leadership for me is somebody who enables others to become their best self. Isn't that what a parent does?
Yes, it is.
Isn't that what a faculty does? Isn't that what a staff member does? That's who I am. It's somebody who wishes the very best for the next generation of leaders, for those individuals who I am pleased and privileged to work with. I'm somebody who's not afraid of hard work, who's willing to roll up our sleeves and go to work. My grandmother used to say, hard work never killed anybody, and it doesn't. It defines, it affords us opportunity to make an impact onto others. And so I'm somebody who strives each and every day to be a little better, so that I can inspire others to be a little better. I'm somebody who's looking always for opportunities to open doors, to be able to pass it forward, to give opportunities to others as people have given to me. I'm somebody who believes to the core of who I am in the golden rule of doing unto others as you'd wish others to do unto you. I'm somebody who strives for excellence and fairness and transparency each and every day, but all of that has to be couched in a nurturing environment, in a caring environment, in a compassionate environment, in an enabling environment, in an environment where you're allowed to dream and where I'm able to remove obstacles for you to achieve that dream.
No, that's powerful, and my tagline, because everything you just said was just awesome stuff. Dream big, think positive, and take action is my tagline.
Absolutely.
And my favorite quote, and you mentioned something very similar right here, is if opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. And that's what you're trying to teach people to do.
Gandhi's, be the change you want to see in the world.
So we're going to take a brief commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to finish the second part of our interview with Dr. Martin, so please stay tuned.
Learn more about us at januscampaign.org.
Your child deserves to know you care, even if you can't be by her side every day. If you owe the state of Kansas for back child support, we've got a new program that helps you pay down your debt while paving the way for your child's higher education. It takes just a $25 investment to get started. Learn more at www.dcf.ks.gov, helping you build a healthy family and support your child to succeed.
Hello, I am Dr. Jamie Schwandt, and as a former foster child, I want to give back and help others succeed. I've wrote 2 books dedicated to foster families. Last year, I wrote Succeeding as a Foster Child. This book is a roadmap for success for foster children. My second book, Finding Your Hero, was recently published. This book is a children's book for foster children and provides a positive message for foster families. These books are great resources for foster families and can be found at jamieschwandt.com. Thank you and God bless.
At Eagle Communications, we're proud to provide the communications services you need to get the most from today's technology. Our employee owners make it happen. We're part of your community, and we take pride in delivering excellent customer service. If you ever have a question, give us a call. We're here to help. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Welcome back to Dreaming Big with Dr. Schwandt. We are with our second part of our interview here with the Fort Hays State President, Dr. Martin. So we were talking before the break about values and family and just a whole bunch of good stuff. You know, it was a great first part of the interview, and it's got me inspired and motivated. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about something you may have overcome, adversity, obstacles. Can you tell me a personal story, let our viewers know something maybe they don't know about you?
Well, I think my background is pretty well known these days, but you know, I think my entire lifetime has been about overcoming or embracing opportunities. I'm always, the glass is always half full, so it's not overcoming adversity, but really looking at the opportunity. It's been really a leap of faith after the other one. Was born in Cuba. I left it with my grandmother and sister, leaving the entire family behind with our clothes on our back. Grew up in Spain in a convent. Came to the States several years later, still trying to get my family out of Cuba, not speaking a word of English. Coming to the States without knowledge of English, without family, without anything other than my grandmother was difficult at best, but it was an opportunity to learn a new language, to experience a new culture. From there, I went on to Duke University, left the only people that I knew as family, my grandmother, my sister, behind. There I met my husband freshman week, started dating by Christmas, dated 4 years, graduated, went to Virginia. He's a native from Virginia. And then spent the next 32 years there raising a family. You know, but throughout the world, that time when you think about adversity, well, you didn't speak English. That's not an issue of an adversity, but it's an opportunity to learn a new language. Leaving my grandmother, it's an adversity. But then I got to meet my husband and met sorority sisters and faculty and professors at Duke. It's an opportunity. Leaving then Duke to go to Virginia, it was troublesome because I had created community at Duke, but then I had the opportunity to create community and build a family and build lifelong friends in Virginia. Coming 1,700 miles across the United States, leaving behind the only place that I had really thought about as home, as family, to Hayes America. People say, wasn't that hard? And you know, yes, there was a sense of fear at the beginning, but once I met the people at Fort Hays State through the interview process, I knew I was coming home. So it was an opportunity. So you know, it's how you choose to look at life. And the adage is still true today as it has been throughout. You can go through life being a silent observer and looking at the glass as always being half empty. Or you can go through life as being an active participant, wanting to make a difference in the world, and having that glass always be half full. And for me, the glass is always half full.
No, that's good stuff. We are what we think about most. That's because thoughts become things.
That's right.
And so where in Virginia now is the family?
Well, there are not actually. My daughter is pursuing a PhD at the University of Miami. She's doing research on autism. It's a field that we need to have an awful lot of more research done, an awful lot more emphasis placed. Unfortunately, in the last couple of years, and you're probably aware that the frequency of autism has increased in 1 out of 67 children born. So it's almost at an epidemic, if not an epidemic itself. My son just graduated from the University of Virginia in May, and he's now pursuing a master's in business at Wake Forest University. So they're dispersed, and those are my children. But they have their own life, you know. Again, not to use another cliche, but the role of parents is to give our children roots. Those roots of the value system that we give them. Those roots are the understanding of what's right and wrong. Those roots are the understanding of the importance of faith, of family, of doing the right thing. Those roots are the understanding of ethic and ethical behavior, of integrity, of honor, of respect. But then if we do our job correctly, then we need to give them wings so that they can themselves become the agents of change that we as parents aspire of them. That's no different here at Fort Hays State University. As we were talking earlier, my missing my children has been tremendously mitigated by the fact that I have found family here, that I have found now children here. You know, when parents come to Fort Hays during orientation, I say to them, we understand that these kids are your most precious possession. I know, I was there, because when we were in Virginia, my daughter went to WashU. You know, we made the trip to take her there, and we drove back 22 hours crying. That was my firstborn. I was letting my baby go. Many of our parents here who are letting their children go, they're first generation still. We serve Many of our students, 70% of them are from Kansas. They come, many of them are first generation. They come off of our farms, and they're these parents' most precious possession. And so I say to the parent, I understand that. I've been where you are, but your child is now my child. Your child is now my responsibility. And so I walk the halls a lot. I walk the quad a lot. We open the university house all the time so that students can come and visit. That's part of their heritage. They need to create those roots to Fort Hays State. But also it's important because if we create those roots, they'll remember those roots. It's also important because then I get to meet them and they're part of my life. And that's very important to me. So, you know, I have 2 children that are by blood, and I have over 5,000 that are still my children, and I love them just as well.
You know, that's a trait of a really good leader. I think of when I was thinking of your students and you embracing the parents and taking those students on as your own. You know, they're your responsibility now. In the military, as a commander, I've had to, you know, look parents in the eyes, and these are, you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes into there. These are my kids now. These are my soldiers. I've got them.
And that's the difference between management and leadership. Soldiers don't want to be managed into war. They want to be led into war. They want to know that they can trust that commander to get them out, you know, to get them out to safety. Without trust, we have nothing.
That's right.
And that's the essence of the military. That's the essence of leadership. For me, if we have no trust, we have nothing. And so trust for me is a critical ingredient, the most important ingredients of leadership.
Yes, I 100% agree. What I wanted to ask you, we're running out of time, and I could spend this whole show talking about some great stuff. Books. We were talking before, we were throwing so many books out there, and we both love to read. Leaders are readers, my favorite quote. I use it way too much. Give me a book or some handful of books that you turn to that our viewers, you know, could maybe go out and check out.
Well, you know, as we were discussing, there's not one specifically. I normally, when I read, it's about self-improvement. It's about seeking those words, that essence of thought that somebody has articulately written down on a piece of paper to inspire, to bring home a point. And so I read a lot from a mentor from my dissertation chair, Gilbert Fairholm. He writes a lot about leadership in a culture of trust, about values-based leadership. Stephen Covey, you know, anything that has to do with principled leadership, with 7 habits, that's important. Colin Powell has written quite a bit on leadership. I read, obviously, the Bible. It's a book that I can turn to, verses that speak to my soul. I have devotional books that I start the morning or at night with. You know, for me, books, it's about finding that piece of my soul that I can then translate into action. It's about finding those words that I perhaps I'm challenged to find because I have this myriad of thoughts, and how do I convey it in a bullet point, the essence of that which I wish to convey, to inspire others, to get others to act, to get others to move. And so when I hear of books, and I cheat a lot, I will say that. You know, I'll open a book, I still like to touch books, and I'll open a book and it's like, I'll look at the preamble and it's like, oh, that sounds neat, and I'll go here, which is why I don't read fiction or other stories, because obviously you don't want to see the end before you see how it develops. But with self-development books, they afford me the opportunity to self-reflect, to look at that which others have said, and then, you know, when I was a business dean, I would say to people, you know that business and business departments teach through case methodologies. We like cases. And I would say, I embrace it wholeheartedly. I copy and steal everything and make it better. And that's what books do for you. They inspire the soul, and they allow you to go to that next level. And so, you know, it's a myriad of books, but I read a lot about leadership, about self-improvement. You know, a book I just finished was You Can't Lead with Your Feet Up. You know, the old adage in my time, not in your time, it was the idea of management by walking around. You know, you have to touch the people. You have to get to know them. You have to get into their soul. You need to have that hook into that heart that pulls you out. That's what books are for me. That's what books do for me. That's what books should do for others. And I find enjoyment in that in and of itself.
No, it's again great stuff, and we could again talk about this all day long, I think. But I want to thank you so much for being on the show, Dr. Martin. This has been a pleasure, and we need to do it again sometime.
Absolutely, thank you.
So that does it for our
Tigers.
show. Go Tigers! Yeah, there you go. That does it for our show today. Thank you for tuning in, Dreaming Big with Dr. Schwandt, and God bless the United States of America.
Hi, I'm Seth Castle, owner of Castle Books Publishing here in Hays, Kansas. I've purchased advertising time here on Eagle Community Television to help support veteran-owned small businesses in our community. So if you're a veteran-owned small business and would be interested in using this advertising time, please go to my website, www.castlebooks.com, and click on the Veterans Outreach tab. Thank you for your time and thank you for your service.
Learn more about us at januscampaign.org.
Simon's tax, accounting, and financial planners have been trusted by their clients for decades. At Simon's, they take a holistic approach with a comprehensive portfolio of services for their clients. Make your appointment today and enjoy a better tomorrow for you and your family. Simon's Tax, Accounting, and Financial Planners, 1007 Cody Avenue in Hays.
Every individual has value and the right to be treated with dignity. Developmental Services of Northwest Kansas support persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities and are dedicated to the worth of each person. To help DSNWK give the best of a vast array of services, we invite you to log on to our Plan Giving website. It features valuable ideas on ways to plan for the future and receive benefits. Lives are transformed by your support of people with disabilities for generations to come. Developmental Services of Northwest Kansas.